Aries, what's happening? Robin here with AriesFireTarot, guys. Welcome to my channel. So it's time for your month ahead tarot card reading for April 2021, and I know lots of you are either having a birthday or have had one, so I just wanted to extend birthday greetings out to you. So I'm shuffling the Steampunk Tarot, and I just had a couple cards cartwheel off the edge of my table here, so one moment. Okie dokes. So all right, so this is going to be a general tarot card reading for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So this is going to be based on the collective energy available at the time I do the read. And I also just want to tell you guys a quick story after I let you know that I'm going to pull an Angels and Ancestors Oracle card for you guys at the end of the reading. So I watch the Aries and the Cancer readings because I'm an Aries Sun and a Cancer Moon. Okay, so I did the reading. I don't usually remember them because they're channeled through me by my guides. So I'm having coffee outside and watching the reading, and I was like talking to my guides, and I was like, is this what Aries really needs to hear again? Because it was basically like all the cards I was pulling and all the messages that I was getting was that it's time for you to move on and release anything that's no longer serving you. And I was like, you know, this is stuff that Aries already knows. Like, we already know that. Okay, so I asked to get like deeper advice and information for you guys because it's like, yeah, it's just sort of a broken record, and maybe people need to hear that one more time. But I didn't want to dedicate another monthly reading to letting you guys know to do something that you already in your heart know. So I deleted the original reading, had a stern conversation with my guides, and they said just to let you guys know that, you know, if you're feeling like if you want to step away from any desolation or tragedy or bad memory associated with an extremely joyful time in your life, because it seems like this agitation or tragedy is wrapped into the highest joy that you've ever experienced. So it can be very difficult for you to separate it, but just know that when you step away from the part that hurts so you can move on with your life, the joy will still be there for you to revisit it. So that could be holding you guys back. And I don't want to do another reading saying, Aries, it's time to move on with your life, because you guys already know that. So based on that, and I'm going to do a little deck clear, let's have a card for you guys. Okay, so Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Okay, so here's the Hierophant. This is very interesting here. So this Hierophant card, okay, the Hierophant really relates to your spirituality, but there's something here, it's so compelling for me. You might need to share your story, okay? So there's books all around the Hierophant, and it looks like he's having sort of a, you know, a story time with those children there. And then there's two keys crisscrossed. So it might be time for you to, like, how creative are you? Can you write? Can you do a podcast? Like, can you go and talk to people? Is it time to really open up, you know, and through that expression find that healing that you need, that we're seeing in that reading that I scrapped yesterday, where it's like it's time to move on, it's time to move on, but how, you know? So there is something here for you guys. Spirituality is always beautiful, you know, you can share anything with the angels, they're always going to keep your secrets, right? But there is some of you out there that probably could be, you know, either a poet, or you have your own YouTube channel, or you have family that you've never told your deepest, darkest secret to. So it's time to start handing that down, handing that out, and handing it off, okay? So this is really beautiful, and I love how the keys are there. You know, because this could unlock you, and you do need that. I'm not going to put the cards up here because I read them better when they're in front of me, you know, so they can tell the story for us. So the Hierophant very powerful. And, you know, he doesn't look like a wizard or, you know, anything like that. He's just a regular down-to-earth guy. So there's something very, I almost burped, earthy and real, you know. Someone yelling outside. Look, you know, it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. Go to bed. So we have the Queen of Pentacles here. So God, I love these cards that we're getting here for you guys. This is you marching forward. And she just has this, and I was saying before, it's a really earthy energy that I was getting with the Hierophant. And the Queen of Pentacles, she is the earth element. So there is something for you guys to get in contact with. And you might really benefit from grounding practices, you know. If you can put your feet on the earth, depending on where you live in the world. Or you can get like a grounding, I have a grounding pillowcase, so I sleep on it every night. You might want to check stuff like that out. But anyway, this is the Queen of Pentacles. And she's like basically undeterred by what happened to her along the way. She does have this energy of moving forward, and she's very poised. She's very collected. I can see where this purging with the Hierophant, you know, and even if you're not going to post a blog or something like that, you might want to write out your story for yourself and then go read it. You know, you might cry the hardest that you've ever cried in your entire life, but it could be very cathartic for you and then allow you to sort of get back on the freeway of love in a pink Cadillac. How many people know that song? Aretha Franklin? Woo! So there's a certain joy and a release. And when you see your own words, I'm getting goosebumps. So this might be a really good way for you guys, like to document that part of your life that has the highest joy with the highest sorrow wrapped into it, you know, and that could be a person. It's probably a person or a place or an event. You know, there's a loss that probably hasn't been acknowledged at your deepest core. So if you sit down and start writing, and you'd be amazed like how fast that you can, like once you get into your story, because you know it so well, it'll just flow like water through you, and then let it sit, you know, and then go read it. And then you'll identify with yourself. You'll extend that compassion to yourself. You'll be able to give yourself that advice as if you were, you know, an elder or, you know, somebody senior in your family. They could come through and say, okay, well, you know, this, and this, and then you can really start connecting to that, because there's a certain disassociation with the pain because you don't want to feel it anymore, but it's like you need to feel it one more time in a different perspective. And when you see things on a written page, it affects you so deeply. I'm not going to talk about myself right now, but I really want to. But anyway, let's pull another card here for you guys. So there is something to be regained, like that poise, you know, and getting back on your path, and again, like merging into the highway of life. Oh, that's brilliant, actually. I'm going to write that down. Hold on. So the next card I pulled, and I find this one really interesting. Really interesting. Okay, so it's like okay, so first of all, this is the Five of Swords. Usually in the Five of Swords, there are 5 characters in the card, and they're all like fighting like idiots. And it's very painful. It kind of represents taking on the world. But really check this out. Okay, so there's 2 people coming in with swords, and then there's 3 swords behind this very composed gentleman. And he's like, I said, good day, sir, you know, and he's not showing any emotion at all, okay? So, but he's protecting the 3 swords behind him. And the 3 of Swords, as you know, is that deep, intense pain. It's very personal pain. And kind of when you look at this a little bit more closely, it's like the swords are being turned in. I'm going to clarify this card here. Could be that there's people around you like adding to your pain. They could be like placating you in some way, and that just makes your walls thicker because you don't want to hear it anymore. You know, you're like, I can't. You know, it's none of your business. It's private. No, and people could be prying because you could have a salacious story, you know, just some wild mess up from your past. And people are just bringing that to your attention for some reason, and you're like, just get lost. But you're wildly composed here. So you do have the Eight of Pentacles, and it's like this purge is going to be the learning curve for your future. Eight of Pentacles really talks about rising higher in the game of life, okay? And these are very interesting pentacles as well. It's almost like they're a ladder, you know? Almost like you could grab onto them and scale your way up. Let's have another card here. These cards are so different than anything else. So there is a Six of Pentacles here. So the Six of Pentacles is really sort of a reciprocating energy. This is work that you guys have to do on your own, though. You know, you're going to have to really go face that and tame it and make it part of you and keep what serves you. You know, keep the joy, leave the pain. I'm going to pull you guys in angels and ancestors. I think everybody has, and I've said this before, one chapter of their life that they don't read aloud. Like there's emotions that hit so like they're inexplicable, you know, and you don't want to touch them. And I just saw angel numbers 1212. And this is what you guys need to go unearth. So I'm really grateful to my team in spirit for giving techniques to deal with it. And you know, really just observing your pain. Like if you could diarize or journal or, you know, do a recording. Recordings are very difficult though if it's still quite a painful memory, because you'll probably break down crying, and then you'll have to go and listen to yourself crying, and you'll probably never get through it. So a really good sign of healing, you guys, is when you can tell your story or read your story and not break down. Okay, so this is the goal, is like you want to be able to revisit your past and not absolutely be knocked to the ground by it. Okay, so let's have a card from angels and ancestors, and this is the White Witch, and this says be the light. Okay, wow. Okay, that's really powerful. So there's a spirit animal owl there. There is the sign of the pentacle in the background. Be the light, you guys. Some of you could find catharsis in finding a group of other people, where we're seeing with the Hierophant, where you talk about your own pain. And I know people have gone through everything under the sun, you know, so you might want to find a Facebook group or a local group that you can go and talk to. But what I'm getting here is it's like really, it's time to, like, who is your support group right now? Like, is it your family or your friends, or it could be your spouse or whatever? It's time to sort of disentangle yourself from that support system, because they don't understand you the way that people that have been through what you have been through, they will, even if their story's not the same, the pain is. And that's what you need to see. And you need to see that rawness and bring it to the surface, and then have empathy for it. Okay, yeah, I'm really seeing that really deeply for some of you guys, where you just need to really care for that and care for yourself, as if, you know, it's the child in you that really, really took the hit. And I don't think it's being addressed. Okay, so there's a part of you that really needs to be held. And you need to be that person there. You need to be that. Be the light for yourself. Be the light for others. So this is pretty deep, you guys. You know, but this could be the metamorphosis. You know, make this the best year of your life. You know, this day is the first day of the rest of your life and all of that good stuff. And I just saw angel number 1515. So I'm glad I was able to redo this, because at least it gave something instead of just stop, you know, hey, stop doing that. Like, now you've got some actual techniques to be able to move on with your life, hopefully. And Lacey's snoring, and she's like, her legs are going everywhere. She's sleeping and twitching in her sleep. So anyway, guys, you guys know I'm always with you. I'm always here to support you in spirit, and just want to send you love and many blessings. And that's a wrap. Take care. Bye.